Hi, this is Kevin Deal from Upscale Audio. Today we're going to talk about I'm not going to talk about the VPI HW-40. I was going to forget that. I want to talk about the Lumen T2 video I did and the fact that somebody already won the prize for what the greatest rock and roll song of all time is. Yes, it is Led Zeppelin, Since I've Been Loving You. Now, some people argue it's blues, some people just want to argue anyway. That was my pick. Someone's already getting the free t-shirt. Congratulations. Now I got more Led Zeppelin. Not that I'm a Led Zeppelin freak, but I got to say something. This is an RL recording. Does anybody know what that stands for? I'm not even going to say it. You put it in the answers. I'm not giving you a t-shirt, but I'm just curious how smart everybody is. You can tell these were special recordings that they did of Led Zeppelin 1 and Led Zeppelin 2. They call them the loud recordings. I mean, because they were so dynamic. So if you get into vinyl, you can start getting super freaky with it, just like I have. Become obsessed, ignore your wife, get her pissed off, sleep on the sofa because you made her sit in the car while you were wandering around, record store in Los Angeles, like what happened to me recently. Now, my wife is very loving. She's cool. She lets me buy whatever I want. But Jesus, man, you know how many copies of Jethro Tull Aqualung I have? Just because the first time I smoked pot, I was listening to that album. Now every time I see a good copy of it, I have to buy it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Look, this is the VPI HW-40. It's like deja vu all over again. What do I mean by that? A couple years ago, the VPI Prime came out, and it was such a big deal, and there was delays in getting them, and there was people with hurt feelings and people that were crying and people that were fighting. And it was the most bizarre thing because there were dealers out there that were just trying to get deposit money out of anybody that they could. Man, they were just asking for deposit money and stringing people along. And for Christ's sake, I had people calling up and going, do you know what the problem is with VPI, why I can't get my Prime? And I go, well, how long have you been waiting? I've been waiting for 6 months. I go, I got 3 of them in stock. I mean, but there's a reason for that. Upscale Audio is the largest VPI dealer in America. And when you're the largest dealer, you buy things in quantities and you do great jobs for people, and they recognize that. They recognize that we love analog so much here that they make sure that we get the goods that we need. And I mean, but not just that. I mean, I've got phono stages here that you can't get anywhere else. We're the importer and distributor for Kaseki. I mean, the Purple Heart cartridge is Harry Weisfeld's favorite cartridge. In fact, I just came back from a show, and the direct drives that were at the show were demoed with this cartridge because it's like peanut butter and jelly. So why is it there's such a crazy thing about this turntable? Well, because it's an expensive table, but God dang it, it is just badass. First of all, the motor that they went with is it's a DC motor, a brushless DC motor. And I'm kind of a fan of AC motors because they're cogless, right? But the thing is, this motor has so much torque, and they used a lot of very cool engineering tricks, and I'm not going to bore you with it, to make sure it doesn't have cogging issues. But more important, it's got all the torque in the world, and then the speed regulation is so fine. 2,500 revolutions per minute. And that means that the speed deviation on this motor, on this platter, is immeasurable. That is very cool. But it's not just that. It's the way that they housed the motor to shield it from EMI and from noise, and also to make sure that it is completely unaffected by acoustic feedback, by vertical vibration and horizontal vibration in ways I've never ever seen before. So that's very slick engineering. Now, it uses a big-ass toroidal power transformer, and I was so happy to see that when I saw one of these taken apart, because toroids are expensive. A lot of manufacturers aren't going to spend that, but it really makes sense to do that in a turntable because they don't radiate EMI out of the core of the donut. Again, you're trying to drop the noise floor as low as you can. This plinth is the classic plinth. It's made up of different levels of material, including an aluminum substrate. And then in between the materials, they use a special cloth, which is used to help dampen those materials together, then they're sandwiched together tighter in hell. The net effect of that is this. With that motor, how's the way it is? With this plinth, the way that it's made, and then with these new special feet that were designed just for this turntable, they did a test called the water bottle test, where they took a big bottle of water, they had a HW-40 playing a record. They took this big bottle and smashed it right next to it. Stuff was flying, everything's going crazy, but the record didn't skip. That means a solid-ass turntable. That means, oh, by the way, the platter, 27 pounds, and that's before the periphery ring. That's why this motor is so special. That's why everybody's going so crazy for this turntable. So I'm going to talk about the turntable, the tone arm in a second. I want you to know it comes with the HRX weight and it comes with the periphery ring. Periphery rings are one of my favorite things in life because they take your record and just sandwich it down. Again, you got to get everything sandwiched where it doesn't move, where it doesn't fight back. That's how you get bottom end. So this can not only improve bass response, it can also help flatten down some of your records that maybe you're like, you know, maybe back when you were smoking dope too, you forgot to store your records just right. It can help you with that. Let's move from there over to here. The Fat Boy. Unbelievable tone arm. Wired with Nordost reference tone arm cable. That's really cool. Nordost is very picky about who they will allow to use their name for licensing. So VPI is the big kahuna. They can go to Nordost and say, get us your most badass tone arm cable, and Nordost is happy to oblige. So this is a gimbal tone arm. It is not a unipivot, and everybody loves this tone arm. This is also a new tone arm bass, and it is beefy, and it is amazing. And the cool thing about it is it has VTA on the fly. You guys need to know that one of the most important things about mounting a cartridge and adjustment is VTA. The problem is records are not always the same thickness. You got your junky old records that were made in the 1980s, and some of them ended up getting super skinny. And then you've got your 180 gram records that maybe you're buying now, or maybe you've got some of the old UHQRs from back in the day, just super heavy duty records. This is what you do. You set your VTA for your skinny stuff, and then you look at where the number is on this adjustment, and that's where you leave it. When you're playing some thick records, you just turn the little screw here, and you make your adjustment for your thick records. Then the VTA is always correct. It takes all the guesswork out of it. And, you know, I got to say something. VTA's got to be right. If you don't get it right, you can get sibilance and just all kinds of different nasties. Oh my God, what else does this thing have going on? I talked about the periphery, I talked about the HRX weight, I talked about the badass platter. This is the 12-inch tone arm, which I absolutely love. It comes with a dust cover, and guess what, kids? I mean, they are available now. When you buy from us, this is what you need to know. We always guarantee the best price. We will do a setup for you. You guys know that I've got talent here in our turntable department that is world famous. The people at VPI know because we're in touch with them daily. They know that we do the best setups, and we will help you in the field like nobody's business. We guarantee the best price. We have 12-month no-interest financing. We take trade-ins. And then we have special packages with different cartridges. As I think I mentioned, this is the Kaseki Purple Heart. This is Harry's favorite cartridge, the founder of VPI. It's his reference. And it's not even crazy expensive. It is an absolute joy. But if you don't want that one, you got to get a cartridge that works with your phonostage. You can buy the most expensive cartridge in the world. If your phonostage doesn't have the right settings for it, it's not going to sound right. We'll help walk you through that and demystify it. Nobody here works on commission. I want you to know something. We will always treat your system like it's our system. Go out and have fun with your VPI. Get obsessed with records like I did. Ignore your wife. Sleep on the sofa. Thanks for shopping Upscale Audio.